Welcome, friends, to the Gaijin Animation Appreciation Hour with your hosts, Sig Bisley and Colt Mauser. Before we get started, please be sure to like this video and subscribe for more content just like this. Now, let the animation appreciation commence.
Crystal Lake kept coming up in the rotation today when I was listening to jams at work, and it got me in the mood for stuff that's Japanese, stuff that's metal.
Fair.
And there are a few things that are more quintessentially Japanese, more metal as fuck, than the object of today's review. Sodomitsu the Destroyer.
Yeah? Yeah.
Unlike
Good.
Conan the Destroyer, it's legit.
Yeah, it's actually
He
good.
destroys.
No?
So we got that. I don't want to talk about things that aren't animated, but Cobra Kai was like, the new season was so fucking good.
It's too good not to talk about.
We're gonna pound that out.
Talk about Cobra Kai in
with the
general.
Furious Fury. And I'm going to go over last season.
Yeah, fall
Because it's
2021.
over.
Yep.
And there's a new season, which is, whew, pretty suck.
Yeah, good returning shows.
Yeah, tons
and
of good
continuing
returning shows, like for new stuff, like
But for new
pretty
stuff,
rough.
yeah. not
But,
as
so we'll
much.
get into that. But first, as usual, da news.
And boy, is there not a lot of news today. It is a slow-ass week. We are in the doldrums of winter, sir.
It's raw.
Yeah, so first
Cold
thing
as
is...
fuck, too.
Yeah,
It's like 6 degrees the other night.
Yeah,
I hope
enjoy.
anybody who's listening to this is like in Florida or some shit.
Yeah, feel better
Don't
about
be
it.
where we are.
Could be in
Savage.
Siberia. Then
True.
you'll tell us to stop bitching.
You be in Michigan. It's like even worse.
Well, I mean, you're in Michigan, so
That's what I'm
no
saying.
shit. I've been to Michigan. Anyway, before I offend everybody.
I'm not saying people
First-
from Michigan are bad. I'm just saying it's kind of a rough place.
Anyway, Lake Effect Snow's a bitch. So, first bit of news here is we got a release date now for Kirby and the Forgotten Land. So if you're
Nice.
into, Kirby stuff.
I haven't rocked a good like hot Kirby jam in
So
a while.
it's been a while. March 25th. So co-op abilities in a co-op mode. So that's pretty cool.
I like it.
So I don't know. I've never owned a Kirby game, but I've played Kirby games.
It's one of those
I do
things
enjoy
where
them.
like your friend brings it over and you're like pounding it
Yeah.
out for a fucking weekend or something, but then you never actually purchase it. That's how I do it.
That
anyway.
pretty much. So anyway, that's coming out. Got a release date. Obviously, those of you that are interested, we'll check it out. Alright.
Check it out.
And we'll move on now. So Adult Swim and Cartoon Network. Yeah, the viewership has fallen over 25% over the past year.
Because they blow.
Yeah, I think some of this is inevitable. So,
The
there's
problem is anime's fucking everywhere
Well,
now. Like that's gonna happen.
people
you
are
know what I
cord
mean?
cutting. People are going to streaming services. Not every streaming service has Cartoon Network, has Adult Swim.
It's very true.
People are streaming the very specific things they want. Like, why would I watch Aqua Teen on here when I could watch on HBO Max or whatever? Right?
Yeah, just pick out whatever episode you want instead of whatever one they feel like reading.
It's Warner Media, so we'll see. I think Warner Media is going to be going through some of the biggest changes with
Ooh-wee, they just took it in the ass on what did they just get fucked on? Oh, that that chick spy movie. There's just,
355 or whatever the hell it was.
Tanked spectacularly. It lost like hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah,
or some
that's
shit.
That
Anyway,
was
there's a
obviously
lot
bad
of that
idea.
going around to all those companies. They're not unique.
Yeah, so I have the most faith in HBO Max in general, and
Yeah, they fucked up, but like they fuck up the least.
and Warner getting their shit together because they put the guy in charge of Discovery Plus in charge of basically reorganizing all that
And
crap.
believe it or not, he actually likes money.
Yeah,
Like real earning money, not ESG bullshit money.
he's about to fire most of CNN, so we won't get political about it, but that's going to be very interesting. There's going to be a lot of big shakeups in Warner properties, I suppose is my point.
Good.
And with Warner getting laughed out of the building with their stupid woke, all female Justice League replacements. Yeah, that didn't go over well.
I can't like sigh loud enough or hard enough.
It's
when
so
I hear
silly.
That. It's
Like-
just so fucking bad.
It's so unnecessary.
And like the worm is turned on that stuff. Like it's like its predecessors got laughed out of the building.
I didn't check. Did they have a Green Lantern? Because the only female Green Lantern I can think of, boy, do they not want to pay EVS that check.
Right. Yeah, he's like the guy that they do not want to give money to.
He just said today he got a 5-figure check for Justice League. So
I
the Snyder
believe
Cut. I believe it.
Good on him.
Yeah.
I mean, he fucking like invented all that stuff.
He invented enough to get checks, which is nice.
Yep.
And he, had those good old school contracts. But anyway, Adult Swim, Cartoon Network going down. Again, I don't know. Some of that's due to just you're inevitably going to be losing people to, on terrestrial cable. And you're also going to be losing people because the programming is so. Adult Swim hasn't been that terrible. Primal's pretty damn good.
Oh, fuck yes.
But then you have, Rick and Morty not being as good as it used to be.
The problem is, all their stuff was, all the good stuff was super edgy, and you can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
That last season of Rick and Morty was very, very tame.
Yeah, we'll see.
Comparison.
I'm hoping the stuff that's going directly to HBO Max will be fine. Like
and they
Venture.
They start recycling, too.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to get...
Metalocalypse.
I don't think you're going to get Doc Hammer and...
Yeah, but you still...
Name? Jackson Public.
Sorry,
I'm a retard.
Christopher McCullough.
I don't think you're going to get them to just do anything but what they do.
No, and same thing with my boy there from Metalocalypse.
You could spin that, not so much Metalocalypse, but there was a ton of shit in Venture that you could spin as woke shit. You know what I mean?
Oh, Venture had diversity just fine.
Yeah, as fuck. So, I mean,
it just wasn't, yeah.
You can hide behind real diversity and say it's fake diversity pretty easily.
The second you're not spinning the narrative, they
it works sometimes. I've seen it actually work.
Occasionally, but I'm dubious.
Cobra Kai got away with it.
Cobra Kai keeps getting away with it. They get some bitching.
I don't want to jump the gun, but
yeah, we'll see.
We'll talk about that later.
We shall see. Anyway, moving on. So, we got here E3 continuing to circle the drain, canceling their 2022 in-person event.
Oh, who gives a shit?
Which
literally no one.
And what you said is exactly correct. Now, one problem is they're in LA. It's not till July, but they're in LA.
Nobody wants to go to LA
Foolish.
right now.
Las Vegas, Florida, Texas. Those are the places you need to be if you actually want to hold an in-person event.
I know people that live in LA, and it's a terrifying shithole. So
yeah. So that's problem one. Problem two, and I don't think it's the problem, is I just don't think they want to hold an in-person event because it doesn't make them any goddamn money.
No, it never
I'm pretty
did.
sure E3 is not a moneymaker at all.
Oh, God, no.
It's been sinking for 10 years plus.
The same neckbeards.
Gamergate did it no favors.
The same neckbeards that went there are just going to sit at home and watch the fucking streams.
Well, it's not even...
for free.
A lot of them, the neckbeards, a lot of them aren't even going to be there. It's going to be the freaking woke, journalists and all those idiots.
It's going to be woke school journalists and thoughts.
Yeah.
Thoughts.
Awful.
So many thoughts.
So I could give a shit less if E3 goes virtual, but it is a shame.
I never cared. So
I only care because, it was a thing that was
I care
big,
about their announcements.
But that's what I mean. It was a thing that was big 10, 15 years ago and was cool, and it kind of consolidated all those announcements and gave you something to kind of look forward to for hey, what's going to come out? Now it's, it's been shattered to the four winds, and you just get random announcements here and there, and people have their own, companies have their own, events or whatever.
There were too many of those big conventions for a while. I mean, nobody could go to all of them. You know what I mean? And
E3 was a trade one for forever, and then they opened it up to the public, and I don't know. I don't think it's a moneymaker. I really think this has less to do, it definitely has something to do with COVID, because, again, it's in California, so good luck. But
yeah,
I think it has less to do with COVID and more to do with they just don't want to hold an in-person event. And this is a great excuse not to hold an in-person event.
Very true.
Yeah.
There are a few smart conventions that closed up shop in 2019 and without knowing what was going to happen. It's man, good on you. You got ahead of it.
Well, it's dying, and hopefully something new and more interesting will grow out of its corpse.
We'll see.
Fertile soil.
Yeah, man. Mushrooms grow out of corpses. Am I right?
I don't know if you're implying hallucinogenic corpse mushrooms, but that's a little creepy.
I'm just saying in general. They like dead things, man.
I know, but eating mushrooms from whatever. We're going to move on.
I didn't say you should eat them. I just said they grew out of corpses, man.
Fair enough.
You took a leap there.
Hey, man, what else are you going to do with mushrooms?
It's true.
Admire them.
I'd hit them with my weed whacker because they explode.
That seems like it might be a problem.
I'm just saying.
You might need a mask for that.
It's fun. They're all over the place. They chunk, man.
I know the ones you're talking about. It feels like you're getting a lot of spores a lot of places. Maybe that's...
it's yet to kill me, so...
Yeah, maybe that's why your joints hurt, right? It wasn't the ticks, it was the...
the spores.
It was all the spores.
We'll find out.
Maybe you're a pod person. Maybe you're fucking Triffid, and I didn't even know it.
I have to go get swabbed for spores now.
Yeah, well...
I have to go get my beehole.
I'm not going to tell you... I was going to say, I'm not going to tell you where they're going to swab you.
Yep. There's only one place you can swab for spores.
You better prepare. All right, well, moving on to the last bit of news, because like I said, there ain't shit going on. It is the dead of winter. So Cinedigm, which the only time I ever remember hearing about Cinedigm is before movies at one of the local theaters.
Yes,
They
100%.
talk about Cinedigm, the new paradigm in cinema.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
The new paradigm.
I don't know if that's tied to the I guess they're not even reels anymore, the discs they get now, or the digital files or whatever, or if that's just the specific theater. But
That's interesting. I
don't
wonder
I've
what
heard
they
of
do. Do they get like those giant Laserdisc things, or do they just get a file? Or
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Get
Good
your
question.
media
I would
player
assume
up.
they get files. I think they have boxes with files. But,
just play it on VLC? Like,
but regardless,
put it in full screen.
yeah, when it crashes, that'll be fun. Windows error. So Cinedigm is buying DMR, which owns Retro Crush, Asian Crush, and Midnight Pulp.
Huh.
So apparently Cinedigm, apart from the movie stuff, has a streaming service, and they're trying to, add stuff to it. So it seems like the consolidation of a lot of these smaller streaming
We were
services
just
are
talking
happening.
about Sentai getting bought by AMC last week. So.
Yeah, so it looks like a lot of these are getting consolidated down a bit. I mean, it's not going to matter much until the big ones consolidate.
No,
like
my J dramas.
someone needs to buy Crunchyroll. Did Funny ever buy? I don't know. There's still two services. It's annoying.
I think the deal fell through.
I think you're right.
I can't remember it though, so don't hold me.
But
to that,
regardless,
I think the deal fell through.
I have no problem paying. Well, I have a little bit of a problem if they're going to translate things stupidly. I suppose I should just learn moon runes, and this wouldn't be a problem. But if if you have these companies that are, they all have different shows. Half of them have the same damn shows they're streaming. Like, I just want them. They need to consolidate. I want to pay one company $10 a month.
I've noticed
and not
a lot,
like three companies $8 a month.
Oh fuck yes! I've noticed a lot of nefarious Woke's translating. Crunchyroll, I'm looking at you.
Yeah, you got to watch your ass. Some stuff doesn't matter because there's nothing in it that they could screw up, but then sometimes, man, it's bad.
Pronoun action.
Yeah,
Just saying.
It gets silly. So, anyway, we'll see what comes of this. This is more media consolidation. So, Cinedigm with whatever their streaming service is
That's
adding a bunch
the
of
thing now, though.
Asian
Everybody's pulling their fucking ridiculous streaming service out of the ether, and then it's just like cable. Everything's just going to get consolidated into three companies.
Apparently, the service is called Con TV Anime. So, I don't know. I
Never
haven't seen
heard of it.
Maybe it'll make it easier to watch Retro Crush's stuff. And maybe
Yeah.
you could get, ad-free Retro Crush stuff, because that's one of the services I don't have, but it does have a lot of things I'd like to check out.
Aren't they a pain in the ass? Don't they have just not an app or a shitty app? Or...
I haven't checked in a while. Like High Dive was like that, and then High Dive got their shit together.
a decent app. It's not the best app ever.
Yeah,
but
so
it gets the job done.
I haven't checked. I mean, I didn't like that it was free, but it was ad supported only.
Fucking commercials.
Like, let me pay you money so you don't have to show me commercials.
Just
please.
charge me $5, please.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind doing that if it's got good stuff and it gets rid of the commercials. So
That's true.
anyway, consolidation. Hopefully, too much consolidation is a bad thing, but I do think you need to clean up some of it right now. There's just too much. We need to hit the right balance. We're probably not going to. It'll probably go too far eventually, but for now, this I think is good news.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the consolidation is just what's going to happen anyway. So
Yeah.
And I mean, how could those little tiny streaming services exist? I feel like they make them just to be bought. It's
I don't
it's like
doubt
back
that
when
happens.
everybody used to get a startup to be bought by Google.
Like, if you think about it, if you own the rights to a bunch of entertainment, right? Why not, pay for somebody else's netcode, right? Because you can license somebody else's netcode.
It's true.
To, stream all your stuff you have on license, buy some servers, rent some servers, really, and get enough notice so that you can get bought out and basically remonetize all that shit that's just been sitting dormant for years.
Very true.
I mean, it's a no-brainer from a money.
Yeah, I mean, it's good business.
So I get it. Well, we'll see. I want Premium Bandai or whatever over here so I can watch all the Bandai and Sunrise stuff.
I know. They've been hedgehogging that for ages.
I
It
know.
never happened.
I know. I suppose I've bought all the Gundam at this point that I really want, so I don't need it as much. But, man, it had so many other things. So many Super Robot shows that I don't know.
Oh, I know. All that cool old Bandai stuff.
Classic. Zabungle. Man, good stuff. Anyway.
I bet Trider is the
That is
fucking Bandai.
That is Trider. Trider was the first show after Gundam.
God,
Which is
it's
interesting.
so wacky.
Yeah. It seems like it should be much older. But
I'm a
it's not.
fucking kid who owns a company that has a giant
It
robot.
seems like it should be the third in the Daitar and Zambot trilogy,
Yeah,
right? Although I don't know if it's as dark. Well, then again, Daitar's not that dark. Zambot is dark. They even killed the robot dog, man.
Zambot is savage.
They put bombs in your friends and their little kids.
That is a recommend only for the savagery.
Killer the Butcher.
If you want to see some real shit wrapped up in a kid's show, it's fucking
The good news
It's
is,
monstrous.
yeah, for a Super Robot show, it is short. It's
Yeah.
only like 24 or 26 episodes.
Yeah.
It's not 52 or whatever.
But it's not made for 52 either. It's
No.
like a tight 20 whatever
Yeah,
episodes.
it's got old animation. I mean, it's older than Gundam, so you're going to have to deal with that. But
man,
poor Cappy.
fucking brutal.
It's brutal.
And it's got Killer the Butcher, man.
Killer the Butcher.
Best villain ever.
Killer
Killer
Butcher.
the Butcher. What more do I
Like I
need
said,
to
he
say?
puts bombs in your friends. Your little, like, 11-year-old friends.
Oh, he puts bombs in your fucking dog.
Well, didn't put a bomb in the dog. The dog just got, like, crushed. But whatever. We won't get into that.
That's what you get for operating the foot.
That is what you get
The
for
problem with Zambot
piloting the foot from the foot.
is like everybody has to pilot a part, and it's like in the part. Like you pilot from the part. So it's like,
Yeah, they seem to
you
learn
got
their
two
lesson.
idiots in feet.
A little
you got
bit
two
in
idiots
Ideon.
in like hands. Like
Ideon handled that a little better. Like, I think they're all more, besides the head, everyone else was more central. Anyway, we won't
Definitely.
get into the physics of who pilots what where. Maybe someday when we do our robot focus series, that's exactly what we'll talk about.
Oh my god, I don't know if I can watch Zambot again.
Oh, we don't have to watch Zenbot.
Fucking brutal.
We just got to talk about all the cool robots. Anyway,
It's true. Yeah, but I need a refresher. I need a Zambot refresher.
well, then you do that to yourself. Couple mini kegs, make it happen.
Fair enough.
It's probably shorter than Red Cliff, all told.
Oh god, yes.
Another thing we could talk about today, but we won't. Maybe next week.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, I forgot we even watched that. I pay attention for the whole thing.
Don't. We mentioned Red Cliff. Do not watch the edited version. I
No.
know it's way shorter. You have to watch the
You
like
have
5.5
to
hour
watch the
version.
5.5 hour version. It's broken up into 2 parts, so you get a pee break in the middle.
Yep.
Grab another beer, but
It's
it's fucking
awesome.
masterpiece.
It's a good movie.
Oh, it's like John Woo at his finest.
It is. It is. And it didn't get overflowed with, combi BS like
Yeah,
the
it
other
was
hero.
before they really like cracked down on
Well,
good movies. And
Yeah, it was in that era where they did on occasion, but somehow this one slipped through the cracks. Maybe because it's too
it's too sacred to
it's
them.
too sacred. It's the Three Kingdoms, man. Way too sacred.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I got to say for today about the news.
Goddamn news. Let me get my my list of trash up here.
All right, so we're going to talk about the wrap up for the fall 2021 anime season. Give a little. We gave a mid-season update, so
Okay, first thing on the list, Rumble Garandal.
Here we go.
This is like one of those meta anime series
yep.
where it's like anime about anime culture, idol culture, fucking Sentai, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
It's decent. Oh, the robot designs are hilarious because they're like, I don't know, chibi dogs and shit. It's
That's
fun.
kind of cool.
I mean, the premise is like,
Little Kuro Ragoon stuff
you
going
need
on.
a
Without all the Gundam stuff.
A guy, yeah, right. A guy pilots the robot, but you need like a weird fangirl to power it with her like passionate love of whatever she loves, and like you have to like,
Of course.
you have to like get them amped up, like sing the theme song of whatever they're into, or like I don't fucking.
I'm not going to explore that any further.
Yeah, but it's entertaining. I'm not super into those like meta anime shows because I don't. I guess I know a decent amount about the culture, but not enough to, it wasn't.
So Hyper Garandal.
Yeah, it's okay. If you're into that kind of thing, it was excellent. If you're not into that kind of thing, me.
So if you're into meta anime, watch it. If you're not, probably give it a pass.
Exactly.
There you
It's
go.
a lot of Akibahara action.
Oh yeah, welcome to the NHK. That's kind of classic.
Yeah, it's the
but-
same thing. They're all set in Akibahara. It's like aliens.
Oh, what the hell was that Salaryman show? The Sentai one. That one too.
Oh, fuck yeah, I forgot about that.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Was that live action?
Oh, I don't think so.
Or maybe I'm thinking of a different one.
Probably.
At any rate, it's not. The problem is it's not that funny, and I usually like those shows to be more comedy.
Yeah, of course.
This one was kind of serious, more or less.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right. Well,
Not my favorite thing, but it was decent.
Hyper Garandal.
I mean, it was well done.
Yeah, there you go. If you're into that kind of thing, watch it. If not, give it a miss.
Shiki Zakura. This was solid. I mean, if you're into... Sentai Filmworks licensed this. If you're into, like, it has a very Sentai through line.
Yep.
Basically. Like, demons take over fucking armor.
Uh-huh.
And then...
That's very Gasaraki.
Yeah, it's true. But anyway, you could pile the armor, but the demon will take you over. But it's the classic, like, God, everything does this now. Jujutsu Kaisen, Black Clover,
Yeah.
where like you the demon's a bro, and you guys bro it out.
Yeah, and you got to
then-
use the power of the demon for good.
Yeah. It was decent. I mean, I never watched an episode where it was like, oh god, I'm not watching any more of this. Watch it to the end. It's good. I don't care if they do any more, but it was fucking entertaining.
All right, give me the name of that again.
Shiki Zakura.
Shiki Zakura. So check it out if you're into that kind of thing. Little mecha, little
Yeah,
demon
that was
action.
decent. I would not,
Yeah.
I would watch it
Not
again.
rush out and watch it, but it's worth checking out.
Exactly.
All right.
Next, World Trigger Season 3, just for me. No, I'm not going to get into it, but it's been good.
Is it good? Okay. So there you go. If you haven't watched World Trigger yet, start.
Sorry, I'm just like super stoked that they brought it back after like 14 years or something, or 10 years. I don't even know.
It's Japan. They do that.
Wait, no, it went out and it has been like 8 years.
It's been a while.
It stopped at like 2014, and then they started again with like.
I never caught up to it because there wasn't more, but now there's more, so maybe I will.
Well, the first 70-some episodes were just animated so shitty.
That's a shame.
But then now that it came back, it's like really nice, so it's worth it. Little nod to me. Anyway, Lupin the Third Part 6.
Well, that's obviously
Can
good.
I not say enough good stuff about
That's
it?
still ongoing, so that's still going on in the next season.
Everyone gets better and better and better. God, it's fucking good. And like, it's such a loved property that like Oshi did an episode. Like all these
that
like,
Oshi episode was weird as hell.
weird
too.
as fuck, right?
The angel getting a job from God is pretty crazy.
Yeah, right. So wild. It's so Oshi too. But a lot of really like hype directors will just do an episode of Lupin because it's one of those
Or
franchises.
write it or whatever.
So
yeah.
I mean, that was a treat to watch.
I will say they're treading on dangerous ground right now, getting into like Lupin origin story. Like they got to be very. I have faith that they won't screw it up. You got
that
careful.
last episode was like, this is Lupin's mom, and she's.
I think that's going to be a bit of a red herring, but
probably they always do that. Next one, the Faraway Paladin.
Yep, the Faraway Paladin.
By far my favorite of the season.
Is that still ongoing?
I think they're taking a break, but then
coming back.
One,
okay,
yeah. Really good. I mean,
yeah, I heard good things about it.
That's kind of isekai. It's like a lot of the things they're doing now is where it has like this tiny little hint of isekai, like he died and then he got reborn, but they never. It's like they never mention it again.
Is it wrong to try to pick up girls in the dungeon? Is an isekai without the isekai piece?
Yeah,
really.
This has like
it's got that MMO
an
stuff
piece, but not really.
It's got that MMO piece that most isekais have.
But like they never mention it again.
Okay,
so I don't even care. But anyway, excellent.
So the Faraway Paladin.
It's
I've
got
heard
a
nothing but
weird
good things about it.
It's got like a weird arc where like he's being taught how to be awesome from this like band of like undead adventurers.
Yep.
That like they had to make a deal with a demon and blah 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 blah.
Of course, there's always a demon to make a deal
always
with.
a
Obviously,
fucking demon, right? But then they make him the most badass adventurer, and then they have to go fuck off because they made a deal with the demon and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But so he goes off. So it's kind of weird. You get like that peak of where he like fights the demon and blah blah blah, but they have to go, blah blah, same old shit.
It's a lot of blah blah blah.
Then he goes off and does actual adventure stuff, which is why if it didn't have another season, it would have been fucking
kind of a waste of time.
Yeah.
All set up with no payoff.
Excellent though, highly recommended.
Yeah, well, if it's going to skip a season or two, you get time to catch up too out there. So
True.
Check it out.
We never finished Sakugan. We'll save that till next
We
week.
could talk about Sakugan next. I have a lot of thoughts about Sakugan.
Well, I got to finish it before I get a lot of thoughts on it.
So, it's going to depend on how it ends, but even at 3/4 through the season, I have a lot of thoughts on Sakugan.
Oh man, there was a little kid hockey anime and I didn't watch it.
Like what you did.
I do love some hockey. It's probably terrible. Whatever. Funny.
Sports anime is not usually my thing.
Anime.
Yep.
Kind of dawdled in the middle.
Great
but
designs.
I think they're going to end up. Hopefully, they do another season. I haven't heard.
I would assume so. Sunrise tends to do at least 26 episodes.
It was a tight 13 episodes.
Yeah.
Like it was a full arc.
Sure.
I mean, I love the shit out of it because it's a fucking classic Sunrise,
Yeah.
My jam from back in the day.
The last random Sunrise show I watched was the one with that stone mask.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
I can't even remember much about it, but I remember it was kind of cool.
Right. But anyway, it had all the classic mecha show tropes that I fucking love. Characters were not annoying.
Yeah.
Lovable. It was kind of funny because like they each have an AI that they like is like our interface with the robot, which is kind of a character all in itself.
Yep.
And they're kind of like comic relief. A lot of times that annoys me, but it was actually good in this one. So I mean, it was good. I liked it.
What was that one that was 12 or 13 episodes with like the water planet? And the dude had like the mech with the AI.
Oh fuck the
because that sounds like that.
Was it like the Verdant planet?
Yeah, the Verdant Blue or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, that was pretty good. I
I
just
can't
wish
remember
there
this.
was more of that.
Yeah.
Because it was like a cool idea. Anyway, so that's a recommend definitely if you're into that. Oh, I got a ton of shit to say about this. Arena of the Vampire Cosmonaut.
The Vampire Cosmonaut show. I was very curious how this turned out.
It's a really well written show if you're into like it's like 90% romance.
Is it done?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it has a weird arc because it's like the first half is about sending her into space, then the second half is about sending him into space, and there's all this like they're getting separated, romance, blah 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 blah.
Yep.
The only thing, I mean, it's not super my jam. I was a little bored here and there because it has like zero action.
Yep.
There's like a little bit of like
A little slice of life, a little tension, suspense.
It's got a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's like they don't like her because she's a vampire. They're gonna sabatage stuff and
A show about sending vampires into space. You figure it would be a little more interesting.
That's my other complaint, really. The trappings were like pointless. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it's basically the space race in the 60s between the US and the Soviet Union. They don't need like they made up these random like the fucking what was it, the British Empire, and then
I always love the British
Zol,
Empire,
the ZUSSR. It was some stupid shit. There was like it was obvious what it was, but it needed a different name.
To me, it's an obvious way to hide actual ethnic groups that were discriminated against, probably by the USSR at the time.
No, but that's the point.
Yeah.
It's like she's obviously a gypsy.
Yes.
Like the vampire thing, she can go out in the sun. She doesn't need to drink blood. It's like she eats people
It's
through
Romani or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It's completely fucking pointless. I would actually like it was animated so well. The backgrounds were so good. It seemed like a waste to not just do like
It feels like the thing that should be a movie.
Yeah, it should have been a period drama. Like the vampire thing was just dumb, basically.
Yeah, without that, I mean, maybe there's they don't want to get into the whole. Sometimes it's easier when you don't have to get into the real world politics of some of those things and deal with them head on.
I don't know. It kind of cheapened it for me.
Yeah,
it was
fair enough.
But it was good if you're into that sort of thing. If you want to get those feels, those romance
Natalia
feels.
exists, so I don't get it.
That's true.
And Girls und Panzer and all sorts of stuff.
So anyway, if that's your jam, I recommend it just because it was super pretty to watch.
Yeah.
And the story was, it was interesting.
Yeah, so if you're into a little bit of drama, a little bit of romance, it's a pretty show to watch. What's the name? Give me the name again.
Arena the Vampire Cosmonaut.
Arena the Vampire Cosmonaut. All right.
It's weird because it's from like the Russian point of view.
Yep.
Anyway, interesting. Myruko-Chan.
Myruko-Chan.
That was your classic like supernatural comedy horror.
Mob Psycho-ish.
Yeah, kind of. It had a very Mob Psycho feel.
Yep.
Except she doesn't really have any powers. She just like sees awful monsters like just standing around everywhere,
Yeah.
and she has to ignore them because if she acknowledges them, then they'll just haunt the shit out of her.
So she's not an unholy terror like Mob.
No, not at all. But it's interesting. I watched the whole thing and I enjoyed it. It's a very like, it's one of those just like meandering.
Yeah. Oh, see, this is what happened. Phones that are turned off aren't turned off.
I literally
Anyway,
turned it
continue.
off. I fucking turned it off.
Well, it's
anyway, fuck my phone. Anyway, what the fuck was I even saying?
Myruko-Chan.
Oh yeah, it's one of those kind of like, oh, now the cat's harassing me.
That's right.
Jesus
That's what you get.
Christ.
It's a stress test.
We're gonna have to
Figure
start
it
doing
out.
this in a goddamn bunker.
Figure it out.
Anyway, it's one of those like kind of meandering 13 episode series where it's like a loose arc, but it's not
Yep.
really like tight. It's just stuff happens. It's funny sometimes. It's serious sometimes. I enjoyed it. If you just want like a fun blow off series, I would recommend it.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Fair
was
enough.
mad I watched it.
Is it slice of life ish? Is it
Kinda,
just
yeah.
comedy?
It's
A little bit
kinda
slice of life,
life.
a little comedy. Okay.
It's
With a
kinda-
little bit of supernatural horror in there.
Yeah, because I mean, all the designs for the fucking like ghosts she sees are fucking really awesome.
Yeah.
Like
all
they're
right.
like super fucking creepy.
So it's got a little angle there where you can get your kind of teeth in.
Yeah, exactly. So it was neat. I liked it.
Very cool. Myruko-Chan.
What was that thing? The Hike story. That was like I already mentioned that. That was like 5 episodes. It was an actual very famous Japanese story. It was animated beautifully. Definitely worth a watch if you're like.
Hike
into
story. That's only
Japanese
5
history.
episodes, so.
Yeah, it was all that cool Warring States shit. You
Yeah.
know, everybody likes that. Samurais, blah blah blah.
Fair enough.
I think that was it. Right?
Was there a Shogun of the Dark?
No.
That's a shame.
I mean, there was a ton of dickheads, man. I'm glad I didn't live back there.
I'll make an honorable mention for Demon Slayer still being awesome. I was thinking, though, I don't know how you give credit to Demon Slayer. I know it's a returning show, but like, just giving you the movie again for most of the season.
Those new episodes are fucking.
But those new
nice,
episodes
though.
are amazing. So it's like
They look cinematic.
and the movie's amazing. So
Like they're spending,
I don't mind, but
they're spending so much money on them. Like those last couple episodes we watched were like a movie.
It's
like
very
quality
good.
animation, like so nice.
So I'll just give my push here for the love of God. If
Thumbs
you're not watching Demon Slayer, go
up.
back and watch freaking Demon Slayer. It's awesome.
Super thumbs up. Yeah, I'll have to do Sakura.
And it's not going to go on forever. That's the good thing about Demon Slayer. It's probably got
Yes,
another.
it's very finite.
Maybe they'll do 26 episodes this season and it's over. Probably a little more than that, but like, it's not going to go on forever. It's not even as long as like Hero Academy. So
Okay, I'm going to save you the trouble of doing a whole thing. There's only one show that even interests me this season that's new.
Yep.
And it's Sabakui Bisco.
Sabakui Bisco. Okay.
Everybody's kind of hot
The
on
Adventures
it,
of Briscoe County Jr.?
Yeah. It's the weirdest fucking thing. I can barely even tell you what it's about because it's so fucking bizarre.
I'll check it out.
A meteor hits Tokyo at some point. I assume it's set in the future. They don't really fucking say.
Yeah, who knows?
A meteor hits Tokyo, destroys it. Like, it's this weird, like, fucking desert wasteland now. And people get this disease called the rust.
Yep.
Which is basically spores. Because, like, all these crazy, like...
So turn into you.
People... Oh, there's these guys that are called, like, I don't know, mushroom fucking wranglers or some shit. They shoot, like, arrows at stuff and mushrooms grow there. Except they're, like, huge and they, like, blow up buildings and crap.
Okay.
It's the weirdest fucking thing.
That's pretty strange.
And there's this one kid who's, like, a doctor.
I appreciate strange, though.
He's, like, kid doctor. I don't know how he is, old he is, but he looks like a fucking kid. Anyway, he's like, buying mushrooms from people, black market, because mushrooms are fucking mad illegal.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a fucking mushroom wrangler...
Well, if they blow up buildings and shit, I get it.
Yeah. So he buys a black market and he's trying to like figure out a cure for the rust.
Sure.
Because his like sister has it.
That's a good classic
And his sister's
arc.
like a super cop. And she's like trying to wrangle mushroom wranglers.
Okay.
The fuck
So they'll be at odds because he's trying to find mushrooms to find the cure, I'm sure.
She knows he's doing it. He's not really getting them from mushroom wranglers. He's getting them through like third party.
Yeah, but still.
He gets it like the fucking liquor
That's
store
going to come
shit.
to a head at some point. You know it.
Oh, yeah, if she doesn't die. But anyway, yeah, it's fucking so
They could Guy
weird.
Daigoji her in like episode
It's
3.
super weird, which I'm always interested in super weird stuff. You know, it's like Odd Taxi
Yeah,
style.
I
where it's just
appreciate
like,
that.
That's fucking bizarre.
That's kind of the point of anime in some regards.
It's the story's like interesting so far.
Yeah.
All the characters kind of cool. So anyway, check it out. The other one was Orient. That's like I watched it because it's the same guy who did Magi, and I really fucking like.
Yeah, Magi was good.
But it's like it's kind of a corny
Did they
little
ever
kid
finish
show.
Magi?
It's like more corny than fucking Dragon Quest.
That's pretty corny.
I love.
Did they ever
Dragon
finish
Quest,
Magi?
But I'm just saying. I know.
That's a shame.
They did like 2 seasons. Oh god, the second season was so fucking boring. I'm like,
That's
do
a shame.
some fucking magic, motherfucker, and he's just like, he wouldn't do anything.
Yeah, watch the Sinbad series instead.
Yeah, right. Anyway, oh yeah, damn, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a spinoff. That was really good. Anyway, watch that too. But that's pretty much it. I mean, there's a ton of shit coming back. Fucking Attack on Titan, last part 27.
Yeah.
They're just gonna keep doing that forever.
Last part 2, ultimate part, whatever.
Oh, fucking.
It's fine. We'll see if they ended the same as the manga.
What the fuck was that show? How Down to Earth Hero did math or something.
Oh, that one.
That's
yeah.
back for a second season, and I'm gonna watch it because that was entertaining.
How is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon is back either this season or next?
I haven't seen it.
It's back
this
soon,
season.
so that
it's
one's
not
coming
on
back.
the list, but it's probably next season.
It might be next season.
Winter season is kind of the doldrums.
The Goblin Slayer's coming back soon-ish
Oh
too.
god, I keep hearing that.
I know.
I want it. I want it now.
We're getting there. Shield Hero's coming back soon too, but
Right.
soon. TM. Dr. Stone is not coming back soon, as we discussed a week or two ago.
Oh my god,
That's gonna take a while.
it's fucking evil shit, man.
Yeah, I know. I love Dr. Stone. Maybe I'll watch that Mike Rowe show. He basically said was Dr. Stone.
That is
One of the
awesome.
shows he did recently.
Fucking annoying nerd Dave, like told me about this series of books
Yeah.
that gets you from like
Oh
dirt-
yeah.
from like dirt to computers.
That's on like there's one on like Kickstarter or something. Not Kickstarter, Indiegogo or whatever.
Oh man, I gotta buy it.
That does that. Yeah, I think it's still up on demand.
Man, I got all the apocalypse gear. Like I need that.
Yeah.
Not that I even want.
You could
computers,
Dr. Stone
but-
it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. Anyway, that's it.
All right.
Segment
That's the wrap up of fall 2021 season.
And the only good thing I've seen for winter 2022.
Yeah.
Only half the stuff is out though. If anything else is good, next week.
Yeah. There could be some more. There could be some hidden treasures in there. Doesn't look like it from the preview, but we'll see.
We will see.
I don't know when the hell the Witch of Mercury's coming out. That Gundam show. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
that's like in the summer or fall, but that's what I'm looking forward to. That's
yeah.
where that'll get my PP hard.
Yep, a little stiff.
It might be terrible, but hey, I gotta.
I don't care. It's Gundam.
I'm in. Exactly.
it.
It's got a
I
cool
want it.
name.
Yeah, it really does.
It'll have cool designs.
Pretty metal. It's all about the robot designs.
Yeah, hell yeah.
At the end of the day.
All right, well, I think it's time to move on to Cobra Kai.
Yeah, like I didn't even want to get into it, but it was so good I had
So
to.
I don't want to just focus on the 4th season. I want to kind of let's talk about Cobra Kai in general. We talked a little bit about the 4th season, but we never really talked about it too much before. So
Cobra Kai is an amazing anomaly because it does everything that every other
let's
thing
explain.
like it has done.
Agreed. So let me explain what it is. Cobra Kai is it's kind of like a soft reboot, kind of not. It's basically a straight sequel. I would say it's not a soft reboot. I mean, it kind of is.
It's a 20 years later sequel of the
30 years later sequel of the Karate Kid movies.
Oh my god, it is 30 years.
Just the first 3 Karate Kid movies. They don't they ignore the other ones.
I didn't even know there. Oh,
New Karate Kid or that reboot.
Wasn't there one with like Will Smith's kid or some shit?
Yeah, there's the reboot with Jackie Chan, and then there was one more with Miyagi.
Chan.
Yeah, there was one more, which he's kung fu, but whatever. There's the one too with what's her face, Brittany, whatever. It's Brittany Murphy. It's one of those actors from back in the day. She's
no, it was fucking.
But that's also Miyagi.
What the fuck is her name? She's the one that was married to Bobcat Goldthwait.
I'm never gonna remember that, so I'm not even gonna try.
Okay,
all right.
I think it was her though.
Regardless, yeah, man, she's a lot younger than he is, but that's not surprising. Okay, so Hilary Swank.
That guy. Yeah, I think it was Hilary
Swank.
Anyway, she's got a lot of money.
Yeah, obviously. So it is a straight up sequel to The Karate Kid. Like the very beginning, it gives you like the end of the first movie, and instead of focusing on the protagonist, although he's in it all the time, Daniel San. What the hell is his name? Daniel LaRusso. It's focused on Johnny Lawrence, who was the villain in the first Karate Kid.
Yep.
And then they keep bringing back characters. And man, it's something that you don't think would work. You'd be like, this is dumb. Why the hell would you do this? Who wants to see 50-year-old, 60-year-old dudes in frickin' LaRusso's case? Because what's his face is old, man. He doesn't look that old, but he's old.
He just doesn't age.
Yeah, like who would want to see it? But you know what? It's really goddamn good. It's one of the best written shows I've seen on TV.
It's one of the few things
ever.
I look forward to a new season of.
It has diversity, but not quotes diversity, right?
They have the best. Johnny Lawrence is basically a time capsule.
Yes, he got pulled directly out of the 80s.
And all he does is act like it's the 80s. So he says all the most fucked up shit, but he gets away with it because that's the character.
That's his shtick.
And it's just great. It's like I just want to hear him talk all the time.
Yeah, so he's kind of mentoring this kid Miguel who lives next door to him, who's he's supposed to be a high schooler. Now they're getting kind of old because the show's been out a while, but only a year's passed within the series, or a year and a half or so. So it is getting it's straining credibility a little bit. So that, and then he's also hooking up with his mother.
Well, I mean, to go back, Johnny Lawrence is a fucking loser.
Yes.
And LaRusso owns
he's
a car
divorced.
dealership.
Yeah, Johnny Lawrence is divorced. His kid doesn't even want to see him. He barely raised him. He never saw him. He's
he's like rock bottom, and then he's like, I'm gonna start Cobra Kai up again.
Yeah, because he meets Miguel and he wants to help him out. Basically,
because he's always getting his ass kicked and
stuff.
Yep. So that's basically the backstory.
But as it goes, it's not just, it starts there, but man, they do a great job of rolling in new characters, rolling in old characters again.
And they don't fuck up old characters at all.
They don't. And the story rolls forward. By season 4, Cobra Kai is now the villain again, and it's, it's in the hands of, and I won't spoil it, it's in the hands of other people from past movies that are now villains again.
I keep thinking at the end of every season, I'm like, I can't do this again. I'm never going to get into this again because they just keep recycling. But they don't.
They do a really good job.
Put a new twist on it, and I'm fucking hooked every time.
It is, the writing is phenomenal. The actors, if you got a bitch, the primary actors, William Zabka and Frank Macchio are they're very good.
Ralph Macchio,
thank you, not Frank.
I'm glad I remember that.
Thank
anyway.
I don't know. I'm going all Lion's Den on this. So, yeah, Ralph Macchio. So they're excellent, right? And his wife is excellent too.
His wife is an awesome character.
She's a great character. Great actors. Some of the younger actors aren't great. They're not terrible. I think they're fine. Some people like to bitch about them more than I think they deserve.
I don't think they're that bad.
But they're not that bad.
They don't
But you got to stick with
They're
it a little
not
bit.
bad enough to ruin the show.
No,
Like,
agreed.
I don't know.
Agreed.
I have never sat here and been like, "Oh my god, that acting it ruins the whole thing." You know,
No,
stupid.
it's certainly better than your average soap opera for sure.
I think it's because it's so hard to nitpick that show that you gotta
it's kind of simple.
If
And
you're
the
a person
stories,
that nitpicks,
the stories are very simple, but the character work is excellent.
oh, they're so 80s.
And seeing people kind of always be pulled back to what they are is very interesting. Where like they'll try to be something else, they'll try to get better or do this, but they're always getting pulled back to kind of
Yeah, man.
what they are at their core.
You ams what you ams.
So the new season with whose name I won't say, one of the characters comes back. He was from Karate Kid 3, so you can go figure that out if you go watch Karate Kid 3.
Yep.
And he's this kind of pompous, rich, just
douche.
lazy, douchey kind of whatever. And then like he starts to revert back to form, and it's very interesting.
Yeah, like once he
how
gets
they do
back
it.
into karate, he like turns into a total cock again.
Yeah, totally the way he was before, with less cocaine. But
I don't know.
the whole arc with a little bit of a spoiler. Kreese is freaking amazing. That guy is awesome. The character's awesome.
That guy is such a good fucking actor.
He's such a good actor, and his relationship with Johnny Lawrence is just so good, and it's really the core of the show.
Oh yeah, it's like the absentee father.
His relationship with Johnny Lawrence, and then Johnny Lawrence's relationship with Miguel, and then Johnny Lawrence's relationship with his own kid are kind of like the core of the show.
Yeah.
Like LaRusso's there, and there's some good stuff there, but he's really a side character compared to everybody else.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
He's in it enough not to be, but yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And he's got his own kids with his own problems, but yeah, it's fascinating. It's fascinating to see the different paths they took in life, which it's kind of some of it's kind of predictable, but it's good. They do just a great job fleshing out the characters.
I wouldn't want it to be wacky because that's what you'd expect.
No, they keep it just cheesy enough. Like somehow in California you can still have giant karate battles in like a high school, and everybody doesn't get arrested immediately.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of stuff that's like kind of
hand wave it,
kind of 80s throwback that you have to just be like, you have to enjoy it and not think too hard because that would never happen.
And they treat karate seriously.
Oh, like. It is the most serious thing on
Some
the
people will treat it like a joke in the show, and it doesn't end well. Like,
yeah.
You do not treat it as a joke. It is very serious business.
It's kind of funny. I like it. It obeys the rules of its own universe.
Yes,
like,
very
to
much
a fucking fault. There's none of that. Like, a character gets away with shit. Like, no. If you're not fucking serious business.
So is it a soft
up.
reboot? I'm going to say no because it's.
I don't think so.
The format of it and the way it goes is just not really like the original Karate Kid. It's not trying to do the same thing again. It's doing its own thing. And sure, it's got echoes of that. And sure, it's got some nostalgia stuff. But I think they just do an excellent job.
They're not doing like shot-for-shot remakes of original battles.
No, it's not Jurassic.
It's
not Jurassic World versus Jurassic Park.
If they do, it's for a joke. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Where, I don't even hate Jurassic World. It is what it is. It's just popcorn entertainment. But like, it's not that, where it's kind of like a thinly veiled complete remake of the original, a lesser remake of the original.
Dare I even like invoke the name of Ghostbusters 2016?
Yeah.
That was basically like the quintessential shitty soft reboot.
Yeah, that's just garbage. But yeah, that's about all I have to say. They treat the characters with respect. I would say, I haven't seen the Karate Kid movies in 30 years. Do you need to watch them to watch this?
No.
Not really. I'd say you should at least watch the first one. Like,
that's all you really
You'll
need.
get more. You'd probably get more out of some of the different characters they bring in if you watch the second and third ones too. But the first one is important because you really do need to understand, the Daniel, and you need to understand Mr. Miyagi because, Pat Morita's obviously been dead for quite a while. So
and
understanding.
He comes up a lot.
Yeah, his shadow looms over the show a lot. And they treat him with a lot of respect, and I like that. But you have to at least understand that. So I would say don't watch it until you at least watch the first movie. But watch the first movie and then give it a try.
They do a lot of recapping too.
They'll give you bits.
They'll recap like little scenes from the movies,
and
just
hey,
so you like.
If you like the first movie, watch the second two movies. They're not as good. I'm going to warn you ahead of time. They're not as good.
Not even close.
Not even close. But you will get more out of the. I mean, the second one I remember a little bit more, but the third one I remember almost nothing about. I definitely watched it back in the day, but I think I watched it once.
I know who that guy is because he's got that slick ass ponytail.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's about it.
But yeah, just a great fucking show.
Yep.
I hate to pimp anything on Netflix because my general feelings on Netflix.
Netflix didn't really have anything to do with it.
No, that's the thing. Netflix
they just
doesn't.
made it. They just made it themselves. And,
it was a YouTube show.
Yeah.
They'll YouTube showed it on their streaming service, right? And it's done by another studio, right? So it's not it's not infected with
It's very loosely connected to
It's
Netflix.
not infected with bad writing. Let's put it that way. The writers are phenomenal. So check it out.
Check it out.
All right. So we're moving to the end here.
It's time.
It's time to talk about Sodomitsu
the Destroyer. One of my favorite short series. I don't even think it was an OVA. I think they actually
I think it was on TV.
Yeah.
It's 10 episodes.
So it's just a short 10-episode series. It's a nice encapsulated thing. Like, they could do more. You don't need any more.
Yeah, you don't feel like you need more in that universe.
The character arc is solid. You're satisfied at the end.
So what is it? Sodomitsu the Destroyer. So basically, it's on Earth, quote unquote present day. It's really the early 2000s, whatever.
It doesn't matter.
Present day, and there's aliens that start popping up, right? And you come to find out later, there's a lot more of them on Earth than you think. And the aliens, they're intergalactic criminals that have been banished to space.
Yeah,
and they're showing up on Earth now, and
they keep escaping.
Not all of them are super evil. Like, much like if you went to a prison and you interviewed every prisoner, some of them are probably
some of them got popped for weed,
or got screwed over or whatever, and some of them are truly evil.
Yeah,
right. So there's definitely a mix there. They do a good job of that. And Sodomitsu Tsubaki, the main character, there's a intergalactic, like, what are they, retrievers? Or,
something like that.
Not reclaimer, like protectors or
whatever you get.
Whatever the hell they are. They're basically space cops. They go around and they try to retrieve. They basically shoot the Ryukitai, which are the alien criminals. Yeah. They shoot them with like a beam or a ball, basically a ball of like gravity that shoots them back into space so they can be banished to space.
And keeps them trapped there. Basically turns them into little stars.
Yeah, exactly.
They just kind of float around their shitty ball forever.
That's his job. And then there's also this thing called vultures where they're like the hardcore version of that, where instead of just shooting them with a beam and send them into space, they like kill every last Ryukitai they find, and they'll leave them blow up the planet.
They're like spec ops, basically. Like if the
Inquisition,
if the retriever or whatever the fuck it's called, like if he can't, if he gets to the planet and there's like way too many of them, or he can't retrieve,
or he gets destroyed, dire straits,
or he gets fucked up, he basically calls in the vulture, and then they just go ham. They just kill everything.
So this protector, retriever, whatever he is, he's basically an AI in a robot body.
Yeah.
Gets torn up in the first episode because he runs into Sodomitsu, who's your typical troublemaker with a gang, but he's for justice. He's
he's like
troublemaker.
He's my favorite Japanese trope. He's like the high school gang leader that has like the long white trench coat with like all his bros' names on
and the belly band.
Yeah, and like the samurai gear and all that shit.
And he
has this awesome like gang of like miscreants.
And he's very concerned with justice. And one of the things he does early on is he steals a bunch of supplies from the nurse who chases him down, but from the nurse to give to people that he beat up before, to be like, hey, sorry we had to beat you up. Here's some like medical supplies, which just pisses him off more. But so he's got his gang, and then the alien shows up there with this protector dude. Sodomitsu gets in the middle, protector dude gets chopped to bits, and then the helmet gets knocked off. The head really, and he basically takes the head and puts it on like a helmet, and it forms armor around him. It's very Kamen Rider-esque style.
The guy, like the alien, I think it's a
Ryukitai.
No, I'm trying to think of that guy's name. Anyway,
Junk.
Yeah, Junk. He basically, like, the helmet tells him to put it on because he can, like, assimilate with the guy.
Yes.
Pretty much all the aliens could do that. They could, like, assimilate with, like, because that one...
Yeah, there's
that one alien assimilates with, like, a motorcycle, and then he's just a motorcycle forever.
And the Vulture can do that, too. Not to give spoilers, but the Vulture can do that, too. So there's some ability to, like, kind of not meld with, but, like...
kind of hide.
Interface with a human. So anyway... He does that, and then he thinks he kills the Ryukitai, and he feels bad about it. So it's interesting because they do this moral conundrum for like half of the series, and they kind of forget about it, which is one of my minor complaints, where he feels bad about killing this thing because he's supposed to retrieve it and shoot it back into space, and he hits it with a freaking Bokuto and like crushes its head in. In the second episode, it gets basically resurrected for no reason, because like random people at a hospital are like, this monster needs to be resurrected. We should shock it back to life.
That wasn't random people at a hospital. That was
that was some of the
special
military
like
people.
Military hospital where they like dealt with these things.
I don't know why they wanted to resurrect it so bad, but they did.
I have no fucking idea.
Yeah. That was like that weird deal they had where he like
if they die, he can't like give them
So
back.
it comes to
whatever.
find out that there's some sort of deal they've struck with Ryukatai. There's like millions of them on Earth at this point.
Yeah, like they're all hiding out.
They're hiding out all over the place. So yeah, the series is it's very succinct. I mean, it's basically Sodomitsu with the helmet, the protector helmet, fights various Ryukatai. Some really badass Ryukatai show up midway through the series, and they're kind of the final villains for the series. You got to deal with.
There's the whole subplot between him.
There's a subplot with the Vulture,
and some girl he like
kind of remembers as a
he
kid, but not
remembers
really.
when he was a kid, and like his memories got like erased for some reason,
Yeah.
and blah blah blah. I don't want to get too into it because of spoilers.
Typical amnesia plot, right?
Yes.
Although not really amnesia, it's a little different. But yeah, you have that. I mean, there's the cops. There's this father who works for like he works for like the DOD equivalent, like whatever it is.
He's a doctor for like the whatever their DOD equivalent.
Yeah. That's one of my minor complaints is that they don't really explore that too much. They kind of leave you hanging.
I assume the manga does, but like
Probably
they only had 10 episodes, so
yeah. So anyway, that's Sodomitsu. It ends well. It's got a cool ending. It ties everything up. It's 10 episodes. Like I said, they're 20-ish minutes apiece.
Yeah, the standard.
Yeah, it's good. So anyway, what do you like about Sodomitsu?
It was very. I mean, it's got every trope I love. So I mean, that's like
It is made of tropes.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite kind of main character too. Like out of all, shonen characters, I like the over-the-top asshole that just jumps right in. There's no bitching. There's no whining.
Yep.
He saves his hero's journey for later.
It's all about justice.
Yeah, it's just like insane for justice. I like the designs too a lot.
The designs
I should have checked who did them because it reminds me of a lot of stuff, but very good. I don't want to be a nerd about color palettes, but it's got really nice colors.
Yeah,
it's like one of the first things I noticed.
The animation's not great. It's not bad.
It's old. They didn't throw a ton of money at it.
It's that like early 2000s kind of digital colored. The other problem is it's I haven't found a Blu-ray anywhere. It's only on DVD.
Yeah, it's wicked hard to find.
And
so I apologize because you're gonna have a hell of a time even trying to fucking like sail the high seas for it.
Yeah, it's got aliasing problems where some of the buildings shimmer and stuff. It's not a big deal, but
it's not a big deal. It doesn't really take away from it, but
no.
Story wise, it's very tight.
Yep.
I like that. Like everything happened. It's like paced very well. Like in the first episode, you get 100% like. A beat on what the character's about. They introduce like all the major side characters.
Yep. And there's not too many of them.
No. And by the second episode, you're already like in it. Like his like motorcycle sidekick guy gets introduced. And they're already into like the Vulture shit.
Kind of the main story, yeah.
They get right to it. Like they don't fuck around. Like you said, there's a few like threads they could have.
Yeah, they don't really explore as much as they could have.
My only complaint really is like they had kind of a recap at the beginning of the last episode.
Yeah,
it's like, what the fuck are you doing this now?
The last episode is half an episode.
Yeah, basically.
Like the second half of it is like a bunch of recap and then the actual ending.
Like it basically finishes
like an epilogue really.
It finishes up everything important in 9 and then like the second
No, the first half of the episode finishes more important stuff up. That's where the real end is. Because it finishes up the important stuff at the beginning of 10. Then it's a bunch of recap and then there's like a little epilogue. That's a little annoying. Like it really is 9.5 episodes, to tell the truth.
Yeah. But other than that, I mean, I can't really bitch that hard.
No, I mean, I love that it's Kamen Rider. It's actually more like Space Sheriff inspired.
It was just a cool thing that they just don't do a lot anymore. Like, God, I miss like weird space stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they never leave the Earth really, and they don't have to. Like, it's just cool.
Oh, it's just like fuck like endless RPG stuff.
Cool Tyranid
looking fantasy stuff too, but they've just killed it.
Cool Tyranid looking alien design.
Yeah, the alien designs are awesome.
And there's a lot of there's a lot of variety with the alien designs.
Oh yeah, they're not all the same at all. Like whoever did the character designs had a ball.
Completely different. I love his helmet. I love the eyes on the helmet.
Yes.
The relationship between him and Junk, the helmet, is interesting. It's pretty good because it is kind of a piece.
It's a really like it's kind of a character driven show for like a stupid, standard shonen type of thing.
Yeah. Like I said, my only bitches are, there's some threads that they're really anemic. They didn't really explore them as much as they should. The cop, and his father mainly, and then his
father kind of comes out of the blue.
Yeah,
like, there's a story there. They just don't get into it.
Yeah, it could use a couple scenes instead of a recap in the last episode. And then there's the, there's just the. what was I gonna say? So there's the stuff with his father that's not played out as well as you would like. It's got a decent ending. You know, it ties everything up. So that's
I actually
good.
like it because it's not like super slap happy, but it like brings the arc to a close and it's satisfying.
It's a little bittersweet, but it's good.
Yeah, it's You don't want everything to have a super happy ending.
No,
I mean,
it
come
doesn't
on.
need to have it. Yeah. Oh, the other thing that they don't really, the other thing I was going to have, which is minor, is they really hit that moral conundrum early on. And it kind of peaks at that episode with the vulture, and then they kind of abandon it after that and don't ever really resolve it.
I kind of think it's just because the stakes are so high at the end. He's like, I cannot not kill stuff.
Oh, sure. Again, I don't think it hurts anything because
it makes
doesn't.
Sense, you know?
You don't really think about it too much, but watching it for the second time now, I go, yeah, it's kind of interesting that they wasted a lot of time talking about that, never really resolved it, and then just kind of abandoned it. So they could use a better resolution there.
This happens all the time. I bet they were greenlit for like 13 episodes.
Could be.
And then they had to like shorten it up, and then they shortened it up too much. Then they did like their weird like
It's entirely possible.
half clip episode, then the end. That happens all the time,
Yeah.
especially back then with stuff that like
It's only 10 episodes. That already is weird.
and it's not hyper. It's not one of those things that was big in Japan and it wasn't big here.
No, it doesn't have a Blu-ray over there as far as we can tell.
Yeah, it exists. Like it's really hard to find, but it's really good. I think it should be way more popular than it is.
Yeah, I mean, I hate that it's kind of forgotten. I think it's a really good show. Music's good too. I like the Western stuff.
I'm
is
glad
really
you
cool.
mentioned that because like that was the other thing I wanted to
It's
talk
got
about.
that gun sword like Western stuff.
Yeah, it has
going
this
on.
like crazy like it's like an old gunfighter like movie from the
Yes.
60s. It's really cool.
It's cool. So yeah,
I don't know why it
if,
has it, but it's really good.
If you're a fan of any sort of Kamen Rider Sentai type stuff, or even just shonen, give it a watch. It's like I said, it's really 9.5 episodes. You owe it to yourself to check it out. Should you be able to find it?
And it's a pain in the ass, but you can get a.
It exists on the high seas out there.
Yeah, you can pirate.
And
it.
honestly, if you want to buy them, at least in the U.S., and actually I even saw some international ones, you can get the DVDs
Yeah,
for
like
not too much money.
They're like on eBay and shit. So.
Yeah, there's not a ton of them out there, but it's not something that's, oh God, it's $80 a disc or something. Like there's 3 discs. I think I saw plenty of auctions where the 3 discs were like $25 total.
Oh my God!
It's not
so
bad.
many times I almost sold my Dunbine collection.
Oh, I know.
Just because people are paying like fucking $90 a disc. I'm like, there's 10 discs. Take.
And it's not even great.
No.
It's got good bids, but
That's Tamino, man.
it's Tamino.
Tamino at his finest.
Anyway, this is not Tamino. It's a recommend. Check out Sodomitsu.
It's a high recommend.
Yeah, check out Sodomitsu the Destroyer. It's a cool show.
It's just a fun show.
Yeah, it's a great show.
It's entertaining. Anyway, that's pretty much it for today.
That's all we got. Peace. Well, that's all for today, everyone. We'd like to thank all of you for tuning into another episode of the Gaijin Animation Appreciation Hour. Please remember to like and subscribe, and may your entertainment be always, well, entertaining.